All right, so we're late. I gotta step back for the Thanksgiving thing. We were busy, so try again. Let's see how. Let's count how many times I get interrupted with work. It'll be great. So I'm on night shift, but I always cover days as well if they need something. So over the weekend we were busy remodeling the house, and I really wish I would have did more video or pictures because it's a lot of work, and it's nice to see how it looked before and what you did after. um but yeah, but that's why I don't sound so good. I don't Do you guys ever get where you do some serious hardcore cleaning and you get sick? It's like you're, I don't know, bringing up dust and germs, I guess. Even though you're cleaning, you're using chemicals to clean. But I was in a very dirty environment and also around a lot of paint. And so, yeah. So, not sponsored, but I should have did these a week before I did that, because it happens every single time. I just completely exhaust myself cleaning because I'm cleaning straight for 15 hours out of the day, working hard, carrying, anyhow, I'm exhausted. My whole body hurts, and my nose, I keep sneezing, and I feel like it's working on me. But I'm going to drink some of this to help boost my immune system. To me, it really works. Definitely doesn't hurt. I take vitamins too, but I need the extra. And I like the raspberry berry better than the orange. So anyhow, I did cook for Thanksgiving. They did Bob Evans, and I like Bob Evans, don't get me wrong, but I didn't want it for Thanksgiving. I prefer homemade stuff. So even though I cooked it, heated it up, I didn't eat any of it. So I kind of feel gypped that I didn't get any Thanksgiving this year. So I'm going to make it myself. We're going to start with some emergency. And I don't have any money. I have dumped all of my money into this house remodeling. I'm kind of waiting to see if I overdraft it. I hope not. You know how things are pending. So you think you have money and then you don't. Um, but so we're pulling with what we have. So I did buy a turkey because I thought we were going to do that. So I do have a turkey that we didn't use because we did Bob Evans. And I also have the best rolls ever, these heat and serve ones. I have pork stovetop stuffing. Pork is the flavor I like the most. And I think the key to it to make it really good is butter. I found some macaroni. I have 3 eggs, so I can make macaroni and cheese. My mom gave me sweet potatoes, so we can do them. I have some onions. I thought I had some potatoes, but we're gonna pull from the pantry and we're gonna make this work. And I'm gonna try and do some cooking videos because that's what I love to do. And the problem will be stopping and starting, because even though I'm on nights, being management, available 24/7. And so if my team needs me, I will stop and answer the phone and answer questions, because of someone not feeling well or hurt is more important. All right. So I have a frozen turkey. I took it out yesterday. I'm fast thawing it. Say what you want. I'm doing it wrong. I've done it this way for 40 some years. So I'm going to continue to do it this way. And that was soaking it in water overnight and this morning and some yesterday. It's pretty well thawed out. Since I'm not deep frying it, it doesn't have to be perfectly thawed out. That's highly important if you're deep frying. I'm just going to oven bake it. But I think it's going to be pretty well thawed out. Yeah. So the first thing I think I'm going to do, and I don't have a tripod. I don't think I have a tripod. Let me see if I can find a tripod. So no tripod. You know we have 1,000 of them around, right? And when you need one, you can't find one. So let's see how this bird is doing. This is a 16-pound bird. Normally we try to get like a 25-pound, but this was the biggest I could find for the price range. This was the cheaper birds. It says it regularly was $1.29 a pound, but I'm pretty sure I paid 39 cents a pound, which is a good deal. You know, if you're trying to be frugal, that's the cheapest meat you can get, really. And then you learn to, you know, either you freeze it and store it or you can it. But you can do an awful lot with it. Okay. So we're gonna take it out of its packaging. And of course, take out the neck and the gizzards and all of that. Let's see how frozen it still is. Just a little bit of ice. Let me thaw it out. Alright, got the neck, and then you'll find the bag. Now, it has like your gizzards and stuff in it. When my grandmother did stuffing, she always did gizzard stuffing. She would cut that up and put that in there. And I never liked it. Like, I would always pick out the gizzard part. But if I had, you know, pets, like a dog or something, you can cook that up and give it to them. And not waste it if it's something you don't particularly want or you're not going to use. But the neck, you can boil that, and that makes a really good stock. All right. I also have tail. I'm gonna cut that out. It's just the tail part. Get that out of the way. Do you guys remember when stuffing was actual stuffing because they put it in the bird and then they said not to do that anymore? But boy, that was good, wasn't it? I'm sure there's ways to do it now, but I don't know. I don't remember as a kid anybody ever getting sick from the food or even hearing about it. But then later they said, I don't know, temperature didn't get right or something. Alright, so I rinsed the bird off. Say what you will, I worked in a poultry factory. Guess what? We rinsed the bird off. You know, which it's been through all the chemicals and stuff, which it needs to have. That's what helps prevent the salmonella and E. coli, not E. coli, Campylobacter, are foodborne illnesses you can get from poultry. So it's not bad. Like, there was just a little bit of ice, but it was only around the neck bone. So I'm gonna let it sit for just a little bit longer. Throw this stuff away. And I'm going to inject it. I have an injector, and I'm going to inject it and let it kind of marinate for a little bit. I'll show you what that looks like. As soon as I can find it. Since we were gone, everything I feel like is just thrown everywhere. All right. Hang tight. All right, here we go. So I do have a good roasting pan. I don't have it here. So I'm going to use this in aluminum foil. This is the injection that I'm going to use. We use this a lot when we deep fry the bird as well. It works really good. But anyhow, I'm just fixing this for us. No one's coming over or anything like that. It's just me and my kids. And my husband. So it'll be 5 of us. And there's no rush because no one will be here, but we'll have it. Gotta give it a good shake. Get all those seasonings off the bottom. Now you really should pat this dry, but since mine's going to sit for a while, I think it'll dry naturally before you put your butter and stuff, whatever you want to put on the outside. Right now we're going to inject it. So we're going to start with the breast. I like to kind of go up under the skin and in. Go slow. You want to definitely hit those areas that tend to dry out. You know, the breast definitely. You can kind of see it puff. Well, you can't see it, but puffs up as you put it in. I'm going to come into the leg here. Other leg. I don't do anything with the wings. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the wings really don't have much on there to fool with. So, I mean, it gets seasoning on the outside, but I don't inject it. Alright. So, I went up under the skin here on this side, and now I'm gonna pick up the skin here and do this side. All right, now I feel like I've kind of done the top of the breast. Now I'm going to aim down towards the bottom. And if you get one of these, I don't care how big your bird is, you want to try to use all of this injectable. I mean, it's not something you can really reuse, so get it all in there now. All right, now I'm going to put just a little bit towards the thigh and which is underneath the here. Dark meat. Do it that way. I'm going to try to show you. I gotta do it this way. So I just kind of started at the top, working my way down. Whoop. I've got a little bit left. I think I'm gonna focus this in the breast area. I'll just pour in what little bits left. Okay. All right. Be careful you don't poke yourself with this. Now you can save these needles and clean them and make your own marinades, but we don't. All right. So I'm gonna let this sit for at least 30 minutes, maybe an hour. I'm gonna make sure it's patted dry, and then I'll show you what I do for the top. Wash my hands. Now, of course, your bird is the longest thing to cook. I think I'm gonna set my oven at, I think it's gonna be low. I'm thinking it's gonna be 300, 325. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna let my oven heat up. I'm gonna let this sit, and then we'll get the bird in. Okay. So we are back. All right. I'm gonna put butter on my bird. I'm actually using margarine. You want to try to get this as dry as possible so it kind of sticks. And just massage all this around. Now you can use any kind of, I don't know, butter that you want to use. Butter, margarine, mayonnaise, oil, something to get this to stick. And I don't know, I've always just used margarine. Oh, found a feather. Got missed in the plucking process. And of course, I feel like the more butter you can get on here, the better it's going to be. So I just smear it on. Alright, whatever's left over, we just kind of do this and put it inside. It'll be alright. goodness. Wash my hands. All right, now, so many different things you can put on your bird. So I'm gonna start with some salt. And then some pepper. And what do you put on the outside? You want to put a little on the inside as well. Ground pepper. Sounds like a lot, but trust me, it's coming out slow. Okay. Now, sorry, I don't have all my seasonings out and ready to go. So I gotta dig for them. I like a little bit of paprika. And, oh my gosh, there's just, can't even get to all my seasonings. The number one thing I use is cinnamon. Hear me out. Cinnamon is not sweet unless you put sugar with it. But it is amazing on poultry, chicken or turkey. So cinnamon. Trust me. Trust me on this. Trust me. Cinnamon. Put some on the inside, don't forget. Little paprika never hurts nobody. Alright. And then we want some poultry seasoning. Alright, I'm going to pause it because I know it's going to take me a while to find it. I was beginning to think I wasn't going to find it. Poultry seasoning. Ooh, went a little heavy there a little bit. That's alright. Alright, now this. Pick her up. Get a little in there. And I'm going to put a little celery salt inside because I don't have any celery. Normally I would just put fresh celery in there. I don't have any. I do have an onion though. Alright. And this is just going to give it some good flavor. Now you can put celery, onions, apples. All of those are good things. Bacon. And of course, if you was my grandma, you'd be putting some stuffing in there. But this onion definitely needed to be used. I'm going to put this whole onion in there once I get it peeled. I don't eat the onion. It's just for flavoring. And you got to remember, you're going to be making gravy out of your juices. So you want good flavor. So I'm just going to slice this up. I don't want it small. Just to get it in there. Inside. That's going to help you get a really good stock also. Put on this end. Maybe. Perfect. Alright. You can put carrots in there too. You put carrots. Heck, even, I don't know, maybe even a good sweet potato might be good. I got lots of them. Let's try that out. We'll put a little sweet potato in it. Now that will give it a little sweetness because it's just naturally sweet. I don't know what happened to my scissors. Oh my goodness. gonna get a little one this size. I'm gonna rinse it off. Make sure there's no dirt on it. I just have so many of these, so I might as well use them up. Alright, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna cut it. Throw it in here. Just some flavoring. That's what this is gonna give it. Some flavor. Already smells good. Anytime you cut an onion, it like the whole house just smells good. Everybody knows you're cooking. Like I said, use whatever you want. You want to use some olive oil. I'm not real big with the garlic on the bird, but you could definitely throw some garlic cubed in there too. Alright, that's the seasonings I've used. Salt, pepper, cinnamon, poultry seasoning, a little celery salt inside, and paprika. Now, I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil. And I decided to go with 325 degrees. And if you're like me, I just remembered I forgot to put the rack down. So I got to do that so the bird will fit. All right. Now, if you want, you can take some aluminum foil, crumble it up. You can make balls, you can make a tube or whatever. Put that under your bird. That's going to get your bird up off the pan. If you don't have a rack, you don't have to do it. I'm not doing it. I'm saying you can do it if you want to get it up off the bottom. This bird's going to take almost 5 hours to cook. So it's 8:37 now. I'm going to take it out every hour and baste it. And then, of course, the last 30 minutes or so, we'll do it without the aluminum foil so you can brown the top real pretty. All right. So it'll be a few hours, and then we'll start the sides because you don't want them too early. All right, let's get this bird going. And we're back. I have just put macaroni on the stove, elbow macaroni. Not quite a pound. I had some out of the bag, but not much. I'm not sure what I used it for. So now we have our fresh sweet potatoes, and I've washed them. Now I'm peeling them, cutting them, and I'm going to put them on the stove to get soft. And then I'm still in a debate on how I want to cook them. Like, I have a really good casserole recipe, which I usually make and everybody loves it, but I also haven't done one with just like marshmallows on top in ages. And I have a bunch of marshmallows, so kind of think of that too. That's kind of like, I don't know, traditional. But also I don't have a lot of eggs, and the sweet potato casserole does call for some eggs. So we might do a little bit of a blending of the two. But the casserole, you would actually blend these up when they're cooked. Where the marshmallows, you just kind of leave them whole and just add stuff to it. So, you know, in a debate. Of course, I keep working. Oh, and I have to keep stopping, but that's okay. I'm looking forward to this so much. Like, I love to cook, and I love putting meals together like this. Really was what I wanted to do, was just cook every day. That would be amazing. But instead I became a nurse. Alright, I think I'll do one more. I really like sweet potatoes. I mean, I don't eat a lot at one time. They are good for you. Lots of fiber. Of course, adding all the sugar and stuff probably doesn't make it good for you, but I don't know. I don't think I'll make these quite as sweet. I think the sweetness will be the marshmallow on top and put some butter and stuff on them. But you could make sweet potato savory too. And I have plenty to use up. I'll probably make some sweet potato fries out of them one day. Put them in the oven and bake them. Alright, that looks like a good amount. That's what we're working with. If you don't have sweet potatoes, carrots work. You can make carrots and sweeten them up with some butter and brown sugar and pancake syrup or maple syrup. Is really good. Okay. So those items take a little bit. I've got them on the stove. When I get the macaroni done, I will show you what all I put in it. Okay. Back to cooking with me. Macaroni is done boiling, so we're going to drain it off. There is a gazillion recipes out there, guys, for macaroni and cheese. It's however you like it. You can cook the cheese on the stove and make it melty, or you can just add it all in. You can add an egg or 2 eggs or no eggs. You can add milk or no milk. I mean, this is how I do it. Everyone likes it. I do make variations depending, you know, because you want something different every once in a while. Sometimes I put some Ritz crackers on top. You know, it's however you want. So let's see. I have some baking dishes here. Trying to think what I'm cooking. I think this one will be fine. So I'm gonna just spray it. Okay. Voila. I'll tell you another way I really like baked mac and cheese is doing it in the crock pot. It's really good if you want to, even like a potluck, you can take it to someone. Alright. Macaroni, salt, pepper, my slow ass pepper mill, but I really like the freshness of the cracked peppercorns, so we endure how slow it is. I'm using it's like the tri peppercorns. It has like brown and red and green ones. Okay. Now, butter. Got to have butter. And I also do 1 egg. I do about an egg for a pound of macaroni. I'm gonna cut up this butter just so it mixes in a little better. I'm gonna start with half a stick, which is 1/4 cup. And while those noodles are hot, I'm going to stir it around a little bit just so it melts. And gets that salt and pepper mixed in there really good. You can add more seasonings if you want. You can put some Creole seasoning in here. I'll tell you another thing I really love to do is I love to add some onion to it. But if I want to do onion, I have to make my own because a lot of people don't like onions. But I'm telling you, onions and some green peppers in this is absolutely amazing. Okay, so get your milk. You want enough milk that you can kind of see it. I don't measure it. I just pour it to where you can see it. It's a lot of milk. It shouldn't come up over the noodles, but you should see it come up to the noodles. Alright, now your cheese. I'm going to use this 3-treat cheese crumble, which is Monterey Jack, Colby, and cheddar. You definitely want some cheddar in this. But you can add extra. You can put some anything you want. Parmesan, mozzarella, you know, Monterey Jack. I like a blend of cheeses. I don't like just one type. So I'll put in, you know, I'll put in like mild or sharp cheddar. So I'm kind of looking to see how that's looking. I think I'm going to add a bit more. It says just cheddar. So I don't know. It's probably mild. I'm using what I have. I do like for it to have some, I like a blend of sharp cheddar in this. I do think that is a key to making it taste really good. Alright, I'm going to add a little bit more. Now, people are different on what they like with macaroni and cheese. Some like it really cheesy, some don't like it as cheesy. So I try to go towards the middle of the road there a little bit. So I have put in about 3 cups of cheese and mixed it in between the crumbles and the shred, and then I'm probably going to put another cup on top. Now, if you don't want to put cheese on top, like I said, you could do like Ritz crackers. That's really good too. So I'm looking to see, make sure this is all distributed well. And then cheese on top. So I have used, oh no, this says 8 ounces. That's only a cup. I was thinking these were 2-cup bags. So about 1.5 cups was inside and then a cup on top is what I used for this one specifically. And then that's going to bake at 350 for about 30 minutes. 30-40 minutes. Alright, now we will prep the next one. Okay, next on the list, I'm going to do a corn casserole. And I think I have everything. We're going to make it work. Alright, so I need to get a stick of butter, which is 1/2 cup, melting in the microwave. Doesn't have to be super melted, but it definitely needs to be soft. Alright. You're going to take a package of Jiffy Corn Mix. I feel like when I've made this before, I used 2 packets. So we'll see what it looks like if I need to add another one. I think I've seen it for 1 or 2. Alright, let's butter this pan. real quick. And I'm just going to mix it all together right into the baking dish. Let's see if that melted. Just a few more seconds. Okay. All right. Kind of mush a few of the lumps out. Now you need a can of cream corn, and you need a can of whole corn drained. If you don't have that, you can use frozen. I'm going to use frozen. It's what we have on hand. Oh, for goodness sake, where is? Right in front of me. That's where it would be. All right. I love this so much. Like, I'm making a lot of my favorites. All right, so you pour that in. And I'm going to put a cup of whole corn in. Okay. If you don't have whole corn, you don't have to use it. It'll still come out. Voila. And of course that's going to add a little bit of moisture because it has some ice in it. All right, let's get that butter. Just pretty well melted. Pour that in. Get all the goodness out, right? Makes me think of crab legs. All right, now you need sour cream. My sour cream is in these, so I'm going to use this one up first. And you need, let me look. A cup of sour cream. So let's see what I have left in this container. Squeezing it down. All right, not much. All right, did we finish with this one? Okay. Cup of sour cream. Pretty close. And now you need a cup of cheese. Okay, I have some Colby and Monterey Jack, so I'm going to use that. Mix it up. And I used unsalted butter. I think it's okay if you want to use salted. But if you use unsalted, you could add a little salt if you want to. I don't. I think it's just fine without it. And if it doesn't need it, then I'm not going to add it. We'll have plenty of salt and everything else. Alright, so I'm kind of looking to see if I think it really needs that other cornbread mix. I don't think it does. I think if you wanted to add it, you probably could. It would bulk up your volume, but you wouldn't add anything else. Okay, I think that's pretty well mixed in. Make sure I got it all from the bottom. And then I'm going to just smooth it out. Perfect. Alright. Now I'm going to sprinkle some cheese on top. Alright. Cheese looking pretty good. Alright, so this is 350. It says for about 40 minutes. I don't know. I'm gonna look at it in 30 because it's not very thick. It's like, you know, I used a bigger pan, so it's kind of thin. But probably 30 to 45 minutes and it'll be done. We'll take a peek at it. Sweet potatoes. I am literally back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So we're just gonna do something. First I need to pick a corner. So we're gonna drain these potatoes. Now, if you don't have fresh, you can use them out of the can. Alright, we're gonna drain these. Fresh potatoes. My pan is a little big, but it'll work. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of melted butter. Get all that good butter out. Alright, I'm gonna do a pinch of salt. Alright, then we need to add some seasoning. We're gonna do a little bit of nutmeg, some cinnamon, no, I do not have it all out and ready to go. Even though I just used cinnamon, where did it go? Or do I still have it out? Okay, a little bit of nutmeg and some cinnamon. Okay, I'm gonna get some brown sugar. I have dark brown sugar. You can use light brown sugar or you can use white sugar. I think anything but powdered sugar would work at this point. We just want to sweeten them up. Pour that in. Dark brown sugar just has some molasses in it. It's the only thing it's different. And I'm going to add nuts to mine, and I actually think I'm going to add raisins. I have these little boxes of raisins, and they never get used. Now, the best way to do these is to put these in some warm water and let them kind of rehydrate. We don't have time for that. I'm just going to add a few, half a box, which is like an ounce. So I really don't have a lot. And then I'm probably going to do, I don't know, 1/4 cup, half a cup of pecans. You can use walnuts as well. Usually that's what I do use, because in Virginia we have black walnut trees. And if you've never had a black walnut, which is totally different than an English walnut, they are much strong flavored, would be a word. They taste like walnuts, but they do have their own unique flavor. You don't need as many. A lot of times we'll make like walnut cakes out of them, and they're really good. But I'm going to use pecans just because that's the bag I have open. Chop them up. All right, we're going to mix this up. Now you can mash this, which I'm on the debate of doing. I think I probably will mash it up a little bit, kind of like mashed potatoes. I don't know, it's looking pretty good. I don't want it super big and chunky. Just gonna mash it a little bit. Just because I think it's gonna get a little bit better flavor all through it. Now, if I was doing the casserole, I would add an egg, but since I'm not, we're just going to add this. And I would have added a topping, which would be oatmeal, cornflakes, brown sugar, and then butter and nuts. And you smooth that. It's almost like making a crisp on the top. Okay. We'll show you what I'm doing here in just a second. So yeah, I think this looks good. It smells amazing. All right, there you go. See how it's kind of chopped up a little bit? It's not the huge quarters that it was, but it's still kind of chunky. And I've just added that all on there. Thinking about putting some pancake syrup on it. Maple syrup goes really good with this. Might drizzle a little bit on there. Just a little bit. Okay. All right, and this is another one. It's like $3.50. This is pretty flat, so normally I would say 30 minutes. I'm gonna check this in like 20 minutes because it's gonna cook pretty quickly, and it doesn't really even have a top on it. So you know the bird is about done when you smell it. You see this little popper came up, though you can't really quite go by that. You need to check the temperature. I'm going to baste it a little bit and put it back in just for a few minutes just to crisp up the skin a little bit. And then I'm going to just cover it with foil out of the oven. And we'll drain off, you can see all the juice, drain the juice off to make the gravy. And we'll get the other things that need to go in the oven because obviously this thing took up all the room. She looks pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. All right, true fashion, I forgot to record. So I made stuffing. That's just follow the box. This is the Jiffy cornbread, mac and cheese, sweet potatoes. Of course, I threw some marshmallows on top. I strained off the gravy or the drippings, put a little cornstarch, some flour, mixed it up, you know, thicken it up a little bit. Voila. And then this is a strawberry cobbler. It was the first time I ever seen strawberry, so I got it. And of course, we have the bird. But I made a green bean casserole, pretty much just following the directions. It's just frozen green beans, cream of mushroom soup, salt, pepper, a little bit of milk. You mix it up with the dehydrated onions. And then I have the rolls in here, but that's cooking. So the only thing that's really missing that I usually have is deviled eggs, but I don't have any eggs. So we're gonna X that. But that's what we have so far, and we'll see if I come up with anything else.